Welcome everybody, I am 16 Comics, and it's time to review another comic by my 9-year-old. This week we'll be taking a look at the origin issue of a character we analyzed a while back named Dirt Biker. In that review, we looked at the second and final issue in the series because, quite frankly, the one we're reviewing this week was Nolan's first original comic, and I just couldn't make any sense of it. I do have in my possession another Dirt Biker graphic novel. It's the origin issue. But I just need more time to review it because it makes no sense. It makes no sense, and it hurts my fragile brain. I mean, look, it was his first venture into storytelling, and you got to start somewhere, right? In any case, I picked Nolan's brain regarding this issue, and I think I've got a clear understanding of what he was going for now. So while that's fresh in my brain, let's review the very first World Wide Comix / Nolan Club Comics adventure, Dirt Biker, the origin issue. Let's take a look at the overall presentation. Like most Nolan Club comic entries, this is your standard triple staple floppy, and much like many of the earlier comics in Nolan's library, it's about 6 double-sided pages long and in full color. Actually, hang on a second. They're not actually double-sided. They're just sort of glued together. That's actually pretty clever. It's no bleed through. Huh. Innovative. Differing from most productions where Nolan's big brother Milo was brought on as an editor and promptly fired over some overblown sibling dispute, this is the only comic book Nolan has created where Milo was never even considered to begin with. During the production, there were a series of rewrites, which took place after most of the lettering had already been completed. The headache of constantly scribbling out and recreating dialogue bubbles and narration ultimately led to Nolan bringing on his older brother as lead editor for future works, which, as we all know, led to a whole mess of different kinds of headaches down the road. Despite being his earliest original book in the catalog, this is Nolan's most colorful work to date. Dirt Biker's design is unique in that it A, doesn't thematically revolve around an insect or an arachnid of some kind, and B, it utilizes a plethora of neon colors, resembling something akin to Tron rather than a Silver Age Marvel character. Similar to Tron, this issue takes place within a VR simulation training room, much like The Grid, The Matrix, or even The Danger Room. So how does one kick off a brand new comic universe? Let's have a read and find out. As we open up to the inside cover page, we see something very interesting. This isn't a Nolan Club comic production, nor is it a World Wide Comix joint. This issue is under the publishing arm of Table Comics Inc. Much like Marvel began under the moniker Timely Comics and DC began under the name National Comics Publications, World Wide Comix began as the very humble Table Comics Inc. before taking on the name Nolan Club Comics and finally evolving into its final form as World Wide Comix. All rights reserved, of course. We begin our story with a cinematic view of a dirt bike course contained within a grid-like dome structure. The ground begins to rumble as the course reconfigures, and a spike pit preceded by a giant metal ramp rises from the dirt. The words VRR indicate to the reader that this is a virtual reality room, and if you couldn't figure that out, well, I just can't help you. We are given a close-up of our hero, Dirt Biker, his visor reflecting the colorful landscape before him. Determined, he fearlessly mutters, "Coming at ya!" as he prepares to jump the ramp before him. What I love about this panel is that even if you're not keen to youthful slang like atcha, an asterisk cliff note provides an appropriate translation for boomers such as myself. Such a thoughtful boy. From here, Dirt Biker proceeds to drive up the ramp on what appears to be a hover bike. Not an actual dirt bike. I guess hover biker didn't sound as cool. And gives an exhilarating woohoo! After sticking the landing like a total boss, Dirt Biker glances down at the display on his bike and notices something is wrong. Dirt Grounder... Wait. Grounder? Hang on a second. Editors, people. Dirt Grounder had too little speed, so he hit a button. But he didn't know what it was, because it's new. Okay, so he needed to speed up, but didn't know which button did that because there's new buttons on the console, so he hit a random one and hoped for the best. However, it was clearly the wrong one, as the VR room begins to go nuts and transforms his costume into a strange blend of Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. Then, robotic arms begin taking apart the new costume as the VR simulation goes haywire. We then cut to Dirt Biker's assistant, who happens to be manning the controls in the VR room. He clearly is unsure how to resolve the matter and begins frantically overlooking the controls before him. We cut to an obvious copyright infringement as we're treated to a Captain Underpants Flip-A-Rama section with a harsh warning that if you rip the following pages, you will receive madness. Don't want that. Okay, let's see what this legal nightmare has to show us. Oh my gosh. Okay. After repeated blows to the head, a most likely concussed control room guy shouts in agony, "Why can't I find it?" Devastated at his failure as a control room guy, he slams his head down one last time in defeat, directly onto the correct button. Immediately, a giant tube slams down over Dirt Biker and begins spinning around as the VR room walls begin powering down, displaying various other app and program icons where there once were ramps and dirt. Finally, after 47 minutes of spinning, Dirt Biker is back in his gear, saddled up on his hover bike, and ready to head out onto his first adventure, which we now know is Dirt Biker and the H2O. To be continued! Yo! This is certainly one of the most unique and raw entries in the Worldwide Archive. Many have praised its boldness to avoid traditional storytelling, even opting not to have a villain, rather the foil to our hero being his own lack of experience. What I also found interesting was the resolution to his unfortunate situation in the VR room. It wasn't his own cunningness or skill, but rather his reliance on an incompetent assistant who only comes through in a moment of defeat. In a way, there's a strong metaphor to be had here. Dirt Biker couldn't find the strength within, nor could he rely on those around him. It required surrendering to a higher authority, something out of his control, letting go and perhaps having a little faith. Of course, there's the counter-argument to be made for simple, dumb luck, and there's definitely a lot of dumb going on with our heroes. I think there's a debate to be had. Luck? Faith? Perhaps something more nefarious? Maybe someday we'll get our answer in a continuation of the series. However, for the time being, Dirt Biker has only 2 other appearances. The previous title we analyzed, Dirt Biker and the H2O, and the 40-page crossover event, Worldwide War. Which I'm getting to, I promise. In any case, this non-conventional storytelling would again be seen in another series we've discussed, The Scorpion. Specifically the 2-part story, The Scorpion and the Goop Monster, in which the second issue hardly featured our title hero at all, and the day is saved through the camaraderie and teamwork of civilian workers at a power plant. While this isn't the most popular character in Nolan's lineup, you can see how this comic influenced many stories and decisions moving forward. For fans of the series, there's hope that Dirt Biker will return, as his larger role in the Worldwide War graphic novel has led many to believe we haven't seen the last of this hover biking hero. I, for one, can't wait. Well, there it is, folks. The very first Worldwide Comix IP. A fascinating look into a young author's budding creativity. A work of art lacking in experience, but overflowing with influence. But what did you think? Would you like to see the Dirt Biker return for more adventures? I know I would. Anyway, as for my rating, I'm going to give it 0 tires out of 0, because hover bikes don't use tires. Seriously, why is his name Dirt Biker? It's a hover bike.